Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode here on the Common Hour podcast. I'm your host, Tamar Kamal, and with me today is a very special guest, Dr. Iiman. How are you today, Doctor?
I'm good. I'm good.
So you're here about to talk... Oh, my God.
You say about talk.
I'm like so nervous.
You're about walk. So talk and walk is cool.
Okay. Take a deep breath and...
Okay, wait.
Like تبيني أسألك أنا? Like okay, I'll
No, it's okay.
ask
It's
it?
okay.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Okay.
should be mine.
No, I'm fine. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode here on the Common Hour podcast. I'm your host today, Tamar Kamal, and with me is a very special guest, Dr. Iiman.
Hi.
How are you today, Doctor?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Thank you so much for coming here
Thank you
and being
for
on the other
letting
episode.
me be a part of it.
Thank you. So we have a few questions to ask you about entrepreneurship, inspiring people with your business.
All right.
Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about that?
So my name is Iiman. I'm Iiman Cheffi. I'm a general practitioner. Origin, I have experience and expertise in general surgery, general practice itself, and emergency medicine for the last 13 years. COVID time, I realized that I have passion to older person and elderly population. Later on, I had a bit of setback, a health issue. I got a brain stroke with left-sided body weakness. So through recovery and through trying to get to walk and move and normally, which took like 3 to 4 months, I utilized that. I tried actually to be smart at it, like it's because it is frustrating to be in the seat of your patients.
Of course.
And I had my patients in the physiotherapy center who I treated prior, and I diagnosed as stroke. And I was like, we're doing the exercises together, and give me the ball of physiotherapy. And no, I'm playing, you're not playing. But to reach an acceptance of unable to move, I think one of the simple or the first exercises that physiotherapist was giving me was like sit to stand. And I used to tell my patient, it's all right, it will work, don't worry. And sit to stand is not as easy as we say, because you need not to touch anything and not to hold anyone. You just sit to stand with nothing. Definitely it did not work. Thank God it did not fall. But then from there, I think you try to see what's good in it. And it's not an easy part to say, everything is pink, everything is colorful. The frustration was there, anger was there, and then a bit of sadness. And somehow we as physicians, we keep trying to say to the patient, or we try to tell them, it will work, you try, you're not in their shoes.
Yeah, of course.
Even if you say it. The minimum is to say, I'll try to help you to do it, but it's not an order. And you can't always say it will work. There is nothing 100%. Sometimes it depends on the patient, the condition, the environment, and definitely the whole situation where the human being is in, and the mindset of that human being.
Yeah.
That's it. From there, I did some academic background with that. I took a diploma of older person medicine from the Royal College of Physicians, and then realizing that I'm able to talk to students and patients, and somehow I know how to convey a message, and I did not know that I know that. I took a license from American Global Training Board as a trainer.
Okay.
And also a certificate in clinical psychology because I like reading people. So at least now I read them and I read their expressions.
That's good.
Titled with a certificate. And then also it came an idea of the startup I have.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk to the startup?
Of course, yes.
Are we going there?
Yeah.
Okay. So going backwards a couple of steps, 22 September, I got the stroke, physiotherapy and rehab and all of that during the 4 months at least. I've seen my own patients and older patients unable to do their daily visits, or they're unable to come to the center.
Okay.
Even if they're awake, and lack of transportation, lack of easy and accessibility of the physiotherapy clinic. It's not only the physiotherapy clinic, even the general practice clinics, because they're unable to move a lot, or they don't have anyone to take them. Very, very simple, you know?
Yeah.
And the waiting time, that was a disaster.
Yeah.
Although we're in Bahrain,
You mean like a waiting list?
the waiting list to
Okay.
anything, even going to an outpatient clinic or to a general
Yeah.
clinic, especially the people who are entitled to the governmental or even the private. The older person, I've done some studies, and like they can't wait more than 20 minutes. They're vulnerable emotionally, psychologically, physically, and we found out like 30 to 40% of them have reduced mobility.
Okay.
So this is where the mobile clinic, Spitar, came out.
Okay.
And the first thing, I think, because I really believed, and I was like, yeah, we'll do it now. And I did not know that it will not happen now. It's in my brain. It's like, you know, everything in your brain, and you just put it on paper.
For sure.
And it hits you. I was like, huh? La, it will take time. Now wait a bit. So the first thing I did was realizing that in Bahrain, thankfully, we had intellectual property office. No one knows about until you search it, you know. IP, trademark, and all of that. We're not aware as a community. And medical field also, we're not aware that we're able to do that. So the logo and the name of Hospital and the idea is registered in Bahrain.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I did something. But after that, it took me a while. I was like, okay, and what's next now?
Yeah.
شلون يعني? What do we do to it?
And this was all you, all alone, doing all of this? Or did you have a team?
Let's say friends and family.
Okay.
For now, it's friends and family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the support of my parents, especially my dad, who's in the management field and project management field, and he was there step by step.
Okay.
Definitely the husband I have, and the kids, and also a couple of friends who were there all the way from not only the stroke part, but the whole idea thing. Can we set it up? Is it possible? Is it feasible? And so on.
Okay, so what was your motivation to start all of this?
It was frustrating COVID time to receive older patients, and they had to wait. And it's not because we're not accessible. I used to be in ER. Because the population, we had all categories of age and all categories of whatever, injuries or diseases or symptoms they got.
Okay.
But because at COVID, we received everyone. We're not supposed to. We're in ER. And I keep telling our population, alhamdulillah, that we're blessed in Bahrain that we had that capacity and that capability. If we were in Europe, and I'm sure people can Google and go check on the news, if you are an adult and you're able to breathe, and lots of criteria will not get you to reach an ER.
Yeah.
But here, no. And this is where, for me, it was frustrating. I'm not supposed to see a patient elderly after more than 10 minutes waiting, even if they're fine. You know, even let's say there's no severe symptoms, he's able or she's able to talk and explain what happens. And like 30% of the patients at that age, they don't really had symptoms.
Yeah.
There was a panic. Their blood pressure will shoot because only of the panic and the concern, because they're lonely. COVID, people are not supposed to travel to visit. Or they visit, and this is where an older person will get sick, and this is beyond of explanation what I can help you with. Not because I can't, because your condition or the patient's health condition is very limited.
Yeah.
And the frustration, I think, got me motivated.
No, that I was going to say, of course, sometimes
that
negative,
emotional part, because we're not, and again, because we're in Bahrain, because we're in the Gulf, we're still considered, how you say it, we have some support, and we have resources. There you go, I found the word. So because we have resources, but it's not sometimes well utilized, this gets me frustrated, and I do that.
You want to do something about it.
Yeah, and I was like, there's
it,
something we have to do about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Was there any setbacks or difficulties while you were?
The stretching time of an email when you send it and you wait.
Oh, I know that feeling.
And Ramadan, I have no idea why. Ramadan in Bahrain, it's just everything goes like
everyone's on vacation mode.
But it's not supposed to. We're all awake. Why no one? And I think how do you say it? I lived a bit in Paris, let's say, and I loved the European part of program or being how do you say it? A study steps.
Yeah.
There is an A, B, C. It will never be
Yeah.
an A and then a C or
Yeah,
a D.
that's true.
And I miss that sometimes because it's whether yes or no. Are you able to meet me or no?
Yeah.
I don't need to remind. Like recently I sent 3 follow-ups. I was like, okay, you know what? To that institute, I'll just go stand up. Assalamu alaikum, I'm here.
Yeah, sometimes you have
Deal
to
with
go.
me.
Yeah. Sometimes you have
I
to go.
already went like a couple of in between.
Okay.
But it will be really funny. And I keep telling my dad, I was like, you know what? I just go crouch and sit. He's like, it's very hot. I was like, no. In the office upstairs. He was like, they will not let you. I was like, you know what? I'll try. He's like, try. And then we'll see how it goes. I was like, no, you take me.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny a bit when we're only a brother and sister. So it's only me and my brother. But always, even with, I have 2 boys. And even with having a family, my dad still thinks, I was like, yeah, I'll take you. And I was like, believe me, when you do that, the credibility of me and let's say a founder or something and a trainer will go like, will go
me
down.
and my dad.
It's like, well, يعني, but it was wonderful having him around, going a bit through Isbitar and the understanding of the market, whether health or entrepreneurship or business and whatever, because being in an institute or in health institute under that umbrella, I did not know what we have in Bahrain. I did not know what we have in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Yes, I read stuff and I try to research, but it's not the same that you're out there. Now, khalas, you're out there. There's, it's not that there is no one who will back you up, but in that field, you'll start or you'll do, you need to ask. You need to go and ask.
For sure.
And we shy of asking. We shy of asking for help. I used to ask my youngest to take me from room to room, and we used to do a train just not to scare him. You're like, I'm pushing and you're pulling. And so going through that, there is a couple of projects in Bahrain and programs that they support startups.
Okay.
The first thing I was courageous. I was like, you know what? We'll just go. There's a startup weekend.
Okay.
It was in September last year. Having a founding team, which is my friend Zain and Baba, let's say. He was the eldest there. And that was amazing. There was like 400 human beings around. And they're different ages. I don't want to say younger. But they are. They were like, the youngest was an 18 or 19-year-old with ideas of startups, let's say, or ideas of businesses. And that was amazing. I needed to pitch in 3 minutes. And honestly, they used to be almost tech. And I was like, now I understand what's fintech. Believe me, I don't know what's fintech. EdTech and health tech. And I was like, everything is related to tech. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So, So, but again, taking yourself a bit away of something that you used to will let you open your eyes on stuff you heard, but you don't know about it. You just heard about it. Or you have seen a post on Instagram or someone said something. But you're not there, You're not asking about it. This is where I think the whole community actually, physicians, let's say, or the healthcare system will let especially physicians and even nurses not lack, but not to ask for help. Because sometimes we do think that we're able to do it by ourselves or we can know it all, and we cannot know it all. Sorry.
Would you say that was like the turning point in your career that made you choose what
I
you
resigned.
wanted to do?
Very simple.
Okay.
2023, I was like, I love you all. I love medicine and I love the people I work with. I was like, can I resign? And my head of department, she's like, I thought you were going to tell me I want to switch. I was like, no. I love where I am. But I want to do something else.
Yeah.
And I want to do something somehow I'm able to take not a hands-on more. And time I manage more. On my own term, let's say, somehow. Yeah.
Okay. So that quick.
I was in the ICU bed. I was like telling my husband, I was like, oh, now I can resign and go. I was just like, the medication is dripping. And he was like, I'm very proud of you. Let the medication go. And I was like, nothing happened to my brain. He was like, it's okay. And I'm unable to move the left side. And I was like, he's like, just chill, relax. Now.
Oh my God.
It's, let's say it in a bit of emotional part. It's scary to see the fear in the people they love you's eyes. You know?
Yeah.
You don't see it in your face at the beginning, or you feel, but the minute you see other people's fear,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is serious. Stop
Yeah.
smiling and stop laughing, and you need to digest what happened.
Yeah.
Even in accidents, like actually, this is what happens in incidents and accidents, road traffic, and all of that.
Yeah. It hits you later.
You go like, huh,
Yeah.
really?
Mm.
Broken something? It's the least of our concern.
Yeah.
It's whatever comes later on. So yeah.
Okay. But they've recovered now, like everything's good.
Oh yeah, I'm running now, 3K and
Oh.
a bit more so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Mashallah.
Maybe something I'm not sure to share, but I'll try not to share the name. A brother of a friend of mine who had also a stroke recently. My age, but he's a huge guy and a bit more severe than me, definitely. So I visited him after a couple of days where he's a bit more awake, and I was like, you know what? I'll see you after a year. I'll be running 3K. And he was like, I run 6K. I was like, okay, then we'll see 6K. And I know, and his sister was like, she called me after a couple of hours. She was like, he's much better than yesterday only. We should do that, and I miss. This is how you share. This is how you say it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's say I've been there, but other people did not. And to someone who is enduring similar symptoms, and I believe as a physician, this is the human part of being a physician, where it should be.
Yeah.
And it's not only the doctor, also the physician, the nurses, the practical, the whole healthcare system. If you take like a couple of seconds, a bit more with a patient or with a relative, it will make 180 degree that you don't know that
imagine.
you did actually make.
Yeah.
It's sometimes a fast track stuff. So I know not everyone will agree with what I say. And I know not everyone will say, yeah, it's only you're talking now, but when you're busy, you're not going to be able to. But I believe this is why أنت طبيب. فالطبيب is in French and طبيب is يطبب. This is, and Isbitar came from Ibn Bitar, who is an Arabic healer, let's say. At that, very, very long time. I think Persian Empire something.
I was going to ask you where the name...
I think it's Persian Empire at that time. Tabib, the same thing. You're a healer. I like to say I'm not the healer, but the tool to try to heal. And if I can, why not?
That's beautiful.
It's very humane.
Yeah.
And I tell the students, I don't like when we dehumanize medicine. It'll just drop. Like education, I think both of those fields, if you dehumanize them, there's a 70% of the cause of what you're doing is off.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore.
For sure.
Thank you for agreeing.
Yeah, no, of course. I see it.
Good.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Common Hour podcast. I'm Yasmin. So please do check out Dr. Iiman and her socials. They'll all be linked down below. And also, of course, don't forget to check out our socials. And don't forget to like, subscribe, all of the above. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Welcome back, everybody. I'll leave the floor for Miss Tamara.
So I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
What do you mean by dehumanizing medicine?
Dehumanizing medicine is when the treating or the questioning or taking history or even the relationship in the healthcare system itself between the healthcare practitioners, regardless the category, and with the patient or the relatives or whoever is in interaction becomes more robotic, more stereotyped. And when there is a stereotyped questions, you're expecting and accepting only a stereotyped answer. And this is where it's not humanized anymore. There is no touch in it. There is no feeling in it. And actually, when there is no eye contact, then you cut the edge of the humanity. The minimum thing, let's say, an eye contact with a patient or relative or whoever you're giving an order to, where you're just robotic on the computer and you ask the nurse, please give the medication, and this, you lose lots of stuff between the relationship, professional one, with your colleague, whatever is the category again, because I'm not going to say only a physician or only a nurse, no.
Okay.
In that field itself, where it's more human and more interaction between the human being.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
So yeah, I think, let's say it's not only in medicine, you know.
Yeah.
But because it's the field I'm in and the field I actually adore.
Yeah.
And even when I ask myself, it's like, maybe you want to do something as I do, but I love medicine. So I love that part of what I studied or what I started working on. And I do believe, and I keep telling sometimes the students or the interns, let's say, or even the colleagues, I was like, take 3 minutes. And if you can't, just verbalize it. I'm not able to communicate at this stage and whatever, because sometimes you're just busy. I understand that. But dealing with a patient, that's another story. Even if you're busy, there is the percentage of your trust, their trust in you would gramp to 100% when you just give 10 seconds of your eye contact, at least eye contact. So I'm not going to say the full attention, but at the minimum of it. And and I believe that. I advocate for that, let's say.
Yeah.
Try to humanize medicine.
No, that's
more.
good. And I can imagine like working in the ER and being a GP. Like, was it different? Like, because in the ER everything's so quick and you have to act fast.
Learn. I think I do believe that we all learn in our process and whatever we're doing in our lives, regardless the specialty or the field we're working in. Being in a busy ER, or sometimes it's not busy, but you'll be taught sometimes by accident, an incident, or sometimes by a chaos, that if you do not do that eye contact to your colleague or to the nurse or to the patient, you lose something, even in the order of medication, or in the order of an order itself of taking the patient to an extra department, or don't, if I say don't and I'm not looking at you, you may just hear the do and you may give, or you may proceed of whatever it is. And even the patient and the relative, you're trying to explain the situation in an ER. The voice that may be raised. If I don't look at you, if you think I'm shouting at you, explaining the terminology, the medical, in Arabic and in English, it's scary. So even when you try to minimize that to explain any situation, especially, let's say, I don't want to say even in GP, but then especially in ER, you try to utilize simpler words, not to simplify the situation, but to make it clear. And if I'm not looking at you, that will not give you the access to the trust that you want to give me to sign on, let's say, an operation, and it has to be instant. In GP, the communication is there. We have more time to express and explain, but then the patients are different, and you would want to explain to them more, because their concern sometimes is not instant, but it's an accumulative. And that accumulation of whatever concern, was it emotional or medication or even an advice, and I try to tell them, do not ask me which doctor is good. It's for you to judge. The criteria of a good physician or not good physician is not up to me. It's how you're comfortable and how whatever treatment you're getting. Because sometimes I get patients, Doctora, I went, or I'm taking this and this and this, and even without going to any other physician, I'm taking all of these medication, and I have no idea why you're taking all of this medication. I want your advice. I want to stop them all. I was like, who gave you, let's say, a subspecialized someone in a cardiology field? It's not up to me to do that. I'll try to explain to you why you're taking them, but you need to go back to your physician or to your subspecialized person who gave you those initially, even if it was 10 years back. You need to go back. I'm not going to change it for you. And you've been on all of those. And suddenly you're just bored, or suddenly you feel way better. And this is where it's different. Some people, some patients, I'm fine. I was like, proud of you. I'm exercising. This is very good. I'm vegan. Do whatever you want. Doctora, vegan or vegetarian better? How do you feel? Because sometimes I say, look, you know what? Put some carbs in it. No, but I don't want the meat carbs. I was like, okay, it's avocado as carbs. No, but I don't know what. It gets me bloating. I was like, but my cousin told me, and this. Sometimes you don't get it in ER, but you get it in GP. And that's all communication. Even if you don't have time. you try to simplify it to yourself and to the other person who's in front of you. Otherwise, you lose that, especially the trust. Let's say in both, as I said earlier, in both the fields, the educational and the medical, there's a trust. You lose that, you lose the person in front of you. Yeah.
So what do you like more? What do you agree with more? Vegetarian or vegan?
I'm a carnivore.
Oh, okay.
And that's scary, I think. Someone laughed. Yeah. Okay. I think we learn about our bodies during growing through time.
Yeah.
Not age. Not related to age. No one talks about age. So, but we do actually grow through time, and sometimes we grow through time regardless our age. We may grow like 10 years in 1 year. And this is where being healthy, I'm the only one who would know I have reflux when I drink coffee. Am I going to continue or no?
Yeah.
Is it healthy? Lots of studies says yes, and there's other studies who says no. Am I believing the studies? It's a personal thing. I'm not going to tell you don't drink coffee. I drink coffee.
Yeah.
The amount, yes, I'll tell you what's the amount convenient, or what would it give you, or what symptoms you may have. And please, when you have it, I urge you to stop that. But it's not in my hand to tell you, don't drink coffee, don't smoke. And then one of the patients was like, I smoke. I was like, okay, since you're 15. He was like, how did you know? I was like, I can see let's say the features, the skin color, your nails. And he was like, do you want me to stop? I was like, unless I'm going to get your wallet, I'm not going to give you money. He was like, oh, you're funny. I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm not going to stop you. He was like, why? All the doctors want me to stop. I was like, I'll tell you one thing. The vessels, the more you're smoking, they get crusts and they block like the highway. He was like, huh? And I know maybe it sounds funny, but explaining the way the person in front of you, the same language, it will get them the message that they need to hear.
Yeah.
It's never, don't stop, don't eat. Exercise 20 minutes. Okay, I can't 20 minutes. I'm busy. Can I do 10 minutes? No.
Yeah.
And I'm not the one who's going to tell you.
Yeah.
And sometimes even in training and workshops, I was like, if you're able to walk 5 minutes, do that for 1 week and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's not up to me. If you can't, you're the one who has to remind yourself that you want to do something or change or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, carnivore, vegetarian, vegan. During the year it changes.
That's good though.
Why not?
As you should know for your body, whatever it
I
needs.
tried keto and I was like, really, this amount of meat? Oh my God, it was interesting. I did not really realize, even the studies and researchers would say that you lose weight. We did, actually, me and my husband. But definitely from a female and male, it's different.
Yeah.
But then I had bad reflexes. It's like all oil. Oh, I could not make it. But it's interesting. Why not?
For sure.
No one, maybe lots of people will not, definitely nutritionists and dietitian may not agree. And also there's another thing that we are more exposed in social media to lots of stuff.
For sure.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
Because lots will say, yeah, that dietitian or that nutritionist. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting an advice from a neurophysiologist. Honestly, after I got the stroke, I was like, there's a neurophysiologist who's a Bahraini, he's finishing his PhD. And I was like, very rare someone in medicine to like that specialty. So it's the science of the nerves and the way the nervous system works. It's rare. I studied medicine and we struggled in neurophysiology to just, and I'm sure Dr. Jalal will agree. I was like, that's one of the worst. You have to know each thing. What does it work? How does it work? And what protein and enzymes. And I was like,
Yeah.
And I know that when he would advise something, it's out of two things. There is an experience part, definitely, and there is an accumulation of studies and researchers. And again, we're an Arabic community. It's not the same as the European community. So even the studies should have a bit of mirroring of our community and our genes and all of that.
Yeah. I don't think people realize what they put in their bodies sometimes. You know, there's so many advertisements and you're suddenly craving something. And then
lots of stuff. Medication will make me lose 5K in a week. And I was like, okay, you want to try? It's like, Doctora, maybe it's not good. I was like, I'm not going to tell you, but I need to know what you want to try first. Maybe I'll help you to know what does it do for you to lose. And definitely if you lose that in a week, you'll gain it again because that component, whatever work will do or absorption will do, it will stop doing it when you stop taking it.
That's true. So one of my questions
Yeah, go on, shoot.
is like, do you have any plans for the future? Like any new things that are coming up, like educational or career-wise or personal?
Half a marathon?
Half a marathon? Okay.
Yeah, I think you were like,
No, that's a goal.
I thought she was gonna say something educational.
No, I didn't.
Why?
I didn't realize what you said. Like,
I ran in a half a marathon, but I ran only 5K.
okay.
But it was interesting to run with people. You know, people are not killing themselves, but they're trying their best because they practice for it.
Yeah.
But that was one of the first things I did. February 2023.
Okay.
After the stroke, I was like, after 6 months, I was like, you know what? I'll run 5K. And even
wow.
my trainer, who's a friend of us and our coach, and he was like, I thought you stopped at 3. And he saw me, and I was like, 5K, I'm here. He was like, but I actually stopped. I walked a bit, but then that was a challenge. And
That's
why
amazing.
not?
Amazing.
So maybe half a marathon, but not
Okay.
this year, next year.
Inshallah.
Not
Okay.
this year. I'm in process. I'm going through the paperwork and regulatory paperwork. I had a pitching yesterday.
Oh, how did that go?
It was an online pitching with a community called Women's Spark,
Okay.
which is partnered with Playbook Community.
Okay.
And I'm a member on Playbook Community. It's founded by, can I say the names?
Yeah.
All right.
I think
that's
so.
tricky. I don't know. Anyway, they'll be happy for me to say the names
Okay.
because I believe in that community. Although maybe it feels like it's a woman-based, but for it to start as a woman-based community in 2021, it's founded by Miss Wafa Abedat. She has 2 co-founders, Mrs. Mahan Saad and Shreya. And the interesting part for me when I joined as a member, I did not know we have females or women in investment. Like, you know, the regular categories like education, medicine, engineering, banking, but this detail of financial department and investment and investors, and that's amazing. It doesn't mean really like they have the money, no, but they have the brain. And I keep telling you, I was like, those are brain talking. We don't talk about makeup, بس يعني. It's interesting to we have it in the Arabic world. It started as a MENA base, and now, and I keep telling them, like, because I'm a mentor also and on Playbook, so we are reaching, let's say, 7,000 plus members.
Oh, wow.
We have an ambassador in Bahrain, we have an ambassador in Kuwait, Dubai, South Africa, UK, and if I'm not mistaken, US, and I'm not sure which area.
Okay.
And so the demo day yesterday was good. It's online, and this is the second pitching. I got a pitching prior to this in a program between Tamkeen and Brink. It's called Mashru'i.
Okay.
And that was a live pitching. And it's a bit different to talk about something live. You try to say something in health, but it's not in the medical terms.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's see how it goes.
Inshallah.
And Women's Spark is a Saudi actually venture capital. Angel investors were on board. Definitely, I wasn't able to see. I was like, zoom. I want to see who's there. I was like, and focus on the pitching. You're the second one. Oh, I had a glitch. That was like 10 seconds, the glitch on the computer. But then I think all of this teach whoever would want to learn something.
Yeah.
Even if it was a setback. Yes, it's a 10-second setback. It's a glitch in the computer, in the PC, and whoever was on the Zoom, she was like, "Yeah, we can't see the slide you're talking." But I was like, "I'm talking." She's like, "Yeah, and you know the discussion. I'm talking, you're talking." I said, the slide is not moving. But it pushed you more, I believe, to have audacity, and the audacity is not easy to manipulate.
Why would you say that?
Because sometimes it becomes a vulgar or rude to be audacious.
True.
Is it a word? Proper word, right?
Audacious?
I like the word.
Is
audacious. Is it proper? Yes.
It sounds right.
Audacious, yani. As an adverb, adjective.
I'm trying to look for Yasmin because she's the one who's always telling me that.
So, but no, because having audacity, I think, as a character, you need to know about yourself before starting. Like I'm going to talk to ministry, and I'm going to talk to a bank, and I'm going to talk to ask for money. It's
Yeah.
not easy. Do you ask your dad for money? He just gives you. He just
No,
gives
no,
you
I
without
ask, I
asking.
ask, I ask.
You got my point. So that's the ability to do that because it's in the family. But now you're asking someone bigger.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, not to push, to prove that I'm believe in the idea.
Yeah, I'm worth it.
I know.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I know I'm worth it. No. I'm not telling you I'm worth it. No,
Yeah.
that I know. The idea is worth it. I believe in it. I know it will work.
Yeah.
I did my studies or I did my background, and I've seen similar to it working somewhere else.
Yeah.
And put the money on, and it will work. You know,
Yeah.
it's like paying off something or selling it, but it's not. I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
say
yeah.
I'm selling the idea,
Yeah.
but I'm pushing to it, and I advocate for it because it works. So that's a bit of the audacity.
Okay.
And you try to utilize a bit smoother words.
Yeah.
You know, because it becomes. That's why I said audacity may become
Yeah.
a rudeness or vulgar, depending on the way you want to say it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, this is something.
Yeah,
new,
yeah.
right?
No, like it's
like,
something you
"Ooh."
wouldn't think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
So-
I think some words we are used to say. I'm courageous. I'm brave.
Yeah.
It's not being brave and courageous.
Yeah.
Being brave and courageous, that means when Tamara says, you know what, Iman, can you jump out of cliff? No, I'm not courageous to do that. But I may have the audacity to try to go down the cliff, walking, but not jumping.
Yeah. Okay. For like asking for money, I think it's like for like personally with me and Yasmin, you know, when we ask for like not for money
Sponsor.
from obviously for sponsors, it's more like
It's like, I don't want to say please, but I wanted to have it.
no, it's like they don't say no, but it's like in their eyes, it's like how worth it. Is this real? Like
This is why I said it's not me. I'm worth it.
Yeah.
I know that. But what I'm doing is
Yeah.
worth your trust. So
Yeah.
you put your money or you put your sponsorship or you'll talk about me. That's
yeah,
it, you know?
yeah,
I'll talk about the common hour. Because
yeah,
you got my point.
Yeah, no, of
not because
course.
of Tamara. And I
Yeah.
did not know Yasmin.
yeah.
But I've seen the work and it's worth it. You got my point?
Thank you,
Yeah, so
thank you.
don't get too high. I'm joking. It's like, you're supposed to say, yeah, I know. Don't say thank you. Yeah, I know.
No, we
I know,
don't.
so-
Sometimes we don't realize it because we're two people doing work
Good.
a lot of the time. You know what I mean?
You know, but
So-
this, I see, if you start with yourself, right? Like you believe in the idea. Yasmin believes in the idea, and you're both separate.
Yeah,
But lots of times, asking each other to flip the coin and see whose idea is working better
Yeah.
for the common hour,
Yeah.
not because Tamara wants or because of Yasmin
Yeah.
wants. You know, like, please smile at the camera and please move at the camera. This is Yasmin's technical part.
yeah,
She's not supposed to say thank you. This is work.
Yeah.
She was like, thank you. I was like, inshallah. You got my point.
Yeah.
So it is work, and you're doing the things that you need to do to make it work.
yeah. Okay, this is like more motivational than.
Yeah, you have to be flattered now. So yeah, but it's worth it. If it's not worth it,
Yeah.
believe me, I'll say it.
No, that's true. That's true.
And I will not post anything. It's like, yeah, we'll post once and that's it.
No, it's so cute. I was like, she's posting all the time. Like, it's so cute. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Anytime.
So I have me and Yasmin came up with this question. It's like, what
That's
are.
scary when you start like, me.
Yeah, because we were-
Like, whether you thought for an hour or you did not think of it, it just popped up.
We were curious.
All right.
Because I have a father at home, so like sometimes I don't think of these medical questions.
Ooh, okay.
But what are some medical myths you wish people would stop believing?
Oh, Ramadan time. God. Okay, so especially in the Arabic world and Islamic world, but I've seen it more in the MENA region. I don't, let's say we call it suhoor, right? I
Yeah.
don't need to eat it because I'm eating the whole night. And I sleep and I wake up late and I'm fine. Okay? That deprives you from water. You'll get dehydrated. It's not something, it's instant, it's accumulative. Lack of sleep is accumulative. You'll have headache and you don't know why.
Yeah.
You'll have a less focus and you don't know why. It's okay, I'll sleep in the afternoon. Okay, you nap in the afternoon, it's not sleeping. You don't sleep 4 hours in the afternoon. It's like, yeah, I'll be a night person. And I know some people's like, no worry, whatever
Yeah.
I'm doing in the night. So I'm not vexing people or pinpointing people, but that is not healthy. Even if someone tells you, really, you're sleeping at 8 p.m. I did not say sleep at 8 p.m. I'm telling you, try to sleep the totality or the 3/4 of your sleep at night, and then a bit of it in the morning. And then you see a bit of
Yeah.
a lot of difference. And I see that in teenagers. And I'm the Barbara at home because I'm the one who's like, sleeping hour.
You're the what?
The Barbara.
What is that?
the monster.
The monster.
The monster somehow with the boys. My mom keeps saying, like, they have to sleep. I was like, they're grown, mashallah. But
Yeah.
sleeping is important. They
Yeah.
both play sports. If you don't sleep, you lose focus the next morning
Yeah.
for whatever, even if it was sports. let's
Yeah.
say. It's not. I'm not talking about school only. So the sleeping deprive is a disaster thing that changes even the character of the human being.
That's true.
Having the fun sleeping with you, I think I was advocating for this the whole year. I was like, your brain will stay awake an hour after, because the last thing, it was the phone. So it will never just sleep the minute you close your eyes. I have to remind myself to remember which research I've read that, and I believe in that. And I think there was an electrophysiological changes in the electricity of the brain until you go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the whole cycle of sleep, which is complicated, and I'm not going to go there. But it's just the fact that
Yeah.
you relax and sleep and feel like you really slept 6 hours.
Yeah. This is where you advertise a really good melatonin for everyone.
يعني it's something we have it in our brain.
Yeah.
We're just emphasizing on it. And again,
For
lots
sure.
of stuff people think I take the medicine, I take the Panadol now, the headache will go now. Or I utilize Panadol, nothing happens. But you need to change whatever you're doing as a habit
Yeah.
and a lifestyle. Then whatever medication you're taking will work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will not. Melatonin, we have it in our body, in our brain. And the work of it, taking the tablet,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
say, we're going to go a bit medical. It's an accumulative action. It's not today, it's not tomorrow. Give it time until it stabilizes the level until you go to sleep. So yeah,
Okay.
that's a myth, I think. Sleeping, dehydration is a disaster thing that people think it's okay.
Okay. Any other myths?
If I stop smoking today, I'll be better in a month, coughing-wise, or
Oh,
I'll do
okay.
a chest X-ray and I'll be fine. I think there are new studies for that. I don't want to go into
Doesn't it
details
take a
on that.
year for the body to fully heal? Okay.
Yeah, I remember this. I stop smoking and I will gain weight. I'll become obese because I stopped smoking. Lots of people. I'll stop smoking and khalas, I'll start eating a lot. So I don't want to stop smoking because I want to be thin. You got my point? Okay,
No.
I'll reformulate it. Lots of male or female, whoever is smoking.
Like they replace food?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, I'll be obese. No, I've seen someone who just stopped smoking. He gained like 5K. And I was like,
That's a bad habit though.
it's not that. That means he actually wasn't eating. It's not the other way around.
Oh, right. Because it suppresses your appetite.
Here you go. Good girl.
Okay.
Well talked.
Okay. That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll eat a bit at night. Okay, so what is it a bit at night? I'll just take like a mini burger, a bit kids meal. But I feel choking. And I was like, yeah, but I have palpitation. And this is where it's a reflex.
Okay.
And lots of people think, la, I have something in my heart. I was like, okay, we'll do the ECG, we'll check on your electricity. It's like, but I have on daily basis. I was like, when do you sleep? I sleep at 3. Okay, what do you eat? I eat at 10. I was like, any hint in there? He's like, no, we'll do everything. I was like, okay, let's do whatever you need. And then, but I'll give you one medicine for the stomach, and please try to, whatever you're eating, a bit earlier. Of course, when you go to the eating part, you need to tell them again about the sleeping part. And I was like, no, but I'm busy. I'm like, okay.
So what is some advice you want to share with like people who are aspiring to be doctors or following your field?
We need to know why you want to be a physician.
Okay.
And the DR is for the certificate you take. Yes, you're worth it. Yes, it's your time, it's your money, it's your energy. But if you don't know why you're there, you lose, I don't want to say 50%, but you lose something on the path,
Yeah.
finishing the studies, you know. and I do ask when I used to be in a hospital or in how do you say it, university hospital, why did you take medicine? And the answers varied, and that's the scary part when it's very variable and not individual, not personal answer. It may work, but there is a 60%, 70% it will not work, and you lose yourself because you will lose something in you proceeding or pursuing that path because you don't believe that you want to do it. And I encourage anyone, and this is where we're more exposed and better methodology, that if you feel like you don't want to do it, don't do it. You can always change. And we graduate definitely from high school young, very young, 17, 18 years old, you're graduating.
Yeah.
If you're unable to know what you want, you have a year, you're able to do any attachment anywhere, any internship anywhere.
That's true.
And honestly, in Bahrain, and I keep telling my boys, you're blessed in that.
Yeah.
And this is easy. Corporate, banks, companies, hospitals, clinics. You want to try, come, observe, 1 week, 2 weeks, see how it goes, see how does it look. Definitely there are some specialities you're unable, but the majority, you're able to do that. Until you say, you know what, I'll proceed this. Maybe I'll do a major in something else, but then start doing that.
Yeah.
You can't be pushed. At our era, so not this generation, at our era, we had very somehow limited subspecialties or fields that you study for in their category also.
Yeah.
Now, no. Now everything it's available.
That's true.
Yeah. And ask for help if you need.
For sure. I agree with that.
Never think that you're able to be the octopus.
True.
Multitasking is interesting, but being an octopus, you will never do it 100%.
That's true.
You'll be doing. You lack at least in one of the octopus hands, and definitely it may be the most important. And you will not see it at that time. You'll see it later on.
Yeah.
So those are a lot. Like how many now advices?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was 2. It was 2. I think it was 2. General. It was 2. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it.
We loved you on with our first live audience and stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much for washing.
We're dishes and
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Bye.
Bye.